Alright guys, so I did all the touch-ups with the red, so just make sure you crisp up those lines for the next part. So go ahead and paint real quick. Blazing orange. Open that up real quick. Alright, using the detail brush or fine brush again, go ahead and get a nice amount. Find a good place to start. I like to do these little nubs right here, these areas that are raised. Like this little button right here. These little notches right here. But the main part you really need to focus on from that, other than that, are like the edges and the lines. This is really where all the stuff comes from with the highlighting. Make those lines nice and straight and crisp as possible, because you don't want to do another step of detailing again with the red to cover up any mistakes. So this part takes a little bit longer than most of the other steps, and that is why I speed up the other steps as much as possible. So you can see right there what I'm doing, just making the lines for the first highlight. Go ahead and load the brush again. Keep it bright. Again, I don't have the steadiest of hands, but it's doing a pretty good job right now, especially on camera. So let's get these little plates right here. Alright. Here, so that's what I'm doing next. Alright, so we get all of those right here. So you can kind of see, again, the lighting not so great. It's good to look at from my point of view, but not from through the camera. It's hard to see. So you can see right here, and then so you can see that first highlight kind of starting up right here, up this line. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit all the edges that it's going to be highlighting, which is pretty much every angle, every edge. So like there's like this edge right here you go across, and the next edge right here that goes across, and the edges here. You're basically outlining the piece that you want, and that's the next step. So again, I'm going to do the rest off camera. Let's see if we can get a better angle here. Oh, let's wait. Here we go. Well, let's find a good spot. I can't find a good spot for it. Seems like if I put it in somewhere really bright, it gets really dark. You can't really see it too well. Oh well, I can kind of see it right here a little bit. Alright. Alright guys, so I turned on the halogen light so you can see a little bit better. Right here. So you can see the outlines of all where the orange is gone. Let me put this here, prop this up real quick for you. Alright, so you can see where the orange goes. So you just take a fine brush and you kind of hit the every little angle you find. Alright, you can see I did I did little pieces on the tabs as well. On each these little nubs that stick out. On some of the pieces right here that hinge the door together. So that's that piece. Okay, and here's this piece. You can see right here a little bit more. Every little angle is hit all around the circle. And then last but not least, here's this piece. Not too many angles on this one, just long angles on this one. Long lines. For lines, I kind of like to do this. When you paint, make a line and you kind of pull a little bit, and pull a little bit, and pull a little bit, until it starts thinning out, and then get some more paint, and then start where it started thinning out. Sorry, my hand's shaking a little bit. So start where it starts thinning out a little bit. So like pull a little bit, and you see it starting to fade out a little bit, get some more paint, go just a little bit back where that started fading out, and then pull a little bit, pull a little bit. That way you can get your line a little bit more straight and more controlled, because if you kind of go like this, then all of a sudden, you kind of move or you jut a little bit, and then you kind of got a little mark. And it's kind of hard, because if you start waving a little bit, you can tell people's lines are one brush stroke if it's wavy. Like if it's like a little wavy because their hand's not too steady. You got a steady hand, more power to you. My hand's not steady, so I like to control my brush strokes by making the lines in small segments, keeping it straight. If you can get it in one stroke without messing it up, more power to you. I can't. Not safely, at least. Alright, so that's the next part. You got your pieces, all the red pieces are together. Now what I'm going to do for my next step is, if you have any pieces of orange sticking out that are not crisp, take the blood red and go ahead and straighten out those lines. All my lines are pretty straight. I don't see any problems with any of my lines. They did a pretty good job. Again, if you do the pulling out and keeping the lines straight kind of thing, it reduces that wavy effect and you don't have to do too much detail. What you're going to do next is you take your ball red, wash, and what I'm going to do is take this puppy right here, the flat, and I'm going to go ahead and hit all the red. Go ahead and mute it. And what that does is it mutes the original line, and it'll blend this orange with the red. That's what washes do. Okay? It'll blend this red with this orange and make it one nice unified color. Or color, excuse me. It'll link the orange and the red and unify them together. Kind of like what you see here. Okay, it's a little bit muted, and you can see the highlights in the major part here. Let me see if I can move that out of the way a little bit more. Okay. So you can see right there, it mutes the original highlight line. You can see right in the middle right here, it's muted. And the highlights is what kind of are on the edges here. And that's what I'm going for. You can see it right there. See that? The middle lines are thin, you think, but they're not. That's the original highlight, and it's muted a little bit, and it blends together. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do next, is I'm going to do that wash, this ball red wash, on all my red. And then we'll go to the next step, alright?